Hey YouTube, welcome back to my channel. My name is Dr. Daniel Kaplan and my mission is to make psychology accessible to all. In this video, we're going to talk all about persistent depressive disorder. You might ask, well, what is persistent depressive disorder? Persistent depressive disorder is a condition, a unipolar mood disorder that continues at least 2 years or longer without letting up. But we're going to go through this video and we're going to go through more detail. And hopefully you like the content. If you find the content useful, hit the like button, subscribe, click the notifications tab, and here we go. So persistent depressive disorder is more of a milder but chronic condition. So you might have heard a predecessor, a different term, dysthymic disorder, but persistent depressive disorder absorbs that condition. And as I said, the condition, you have to have a minimum of 2 years or longer with either major or mild depression. Now, it's very important to understand that you can meet this criteria with only 2 symptoms of depression or more, as long as those symptoms persist continuously without a gap or absence of about 8 weeks or 2 months. Now, in children, it's 1 year or longer without a gap. And that's important because when we are trying to help people with depression, we have to work with low-grade depression as well. And people are navigating this general malaise that we have to help. So the symptoms of depression in persistent depressive disorder are the same as in major depressive disorder. It's just fewer and longer term. Now, it is possible to have something which we refer to as double depression. What is double depression? That's when you have a persistent depressive disorder that leads into a major depressive disorder. That sequence is called double depressive disorder. So we do have some exclusionary criteria. This condition, persistent depressive disorder, cannot be better explained by schizoaffective disorder, schizophrenia, delusional disorder, or any other schizophrenia spectrum or psychotic condition. It also cannot be better explained by substances of abuse or medication or some kind of biological deficit such as hypothyroidism. Hypothyroidism is a very common biological condition or medical condition that does affect one's mood significantly. And similar to major depressive disorder, this persistent depressive disorder has to impact one or more aspects of functioning. So we have the same specifiers as major depressive disorder: mild, moderate, severe, with or without psychotic features, in remission or partial remission or unspecified. And here's something new. Here's something that is helpful. We have something called early onset. So if a person has persistent depressive disorder before the age of 21, that's early onset. Late onset is at the age of 21 or older. So these are age-related specifiers. And because we have a childhood version and an adult version, it's important to see the long-term development of the condition. Now, I said to you, it's possible to have a major depressive disorder with the dysthymia or persistent depressive disorder or without. So there are other specifiers that give the clinician or the insurance company more information, such as if you had a specifier that said persistent depressive disorder with pure dysthymic syndrome. The emphasis of pure dysthymic syndrome is saying, hey, in the past 2 years, the criteria for major depressive disorder have not been met. the full criteria, right? If you have persistent depressive disorder with persistent major depressive episode, now we're saying at least once during this time period, you met the criteria of a major depressive disorder. So, and then we can have with intermittent major depressive episodes or with current episodes. So that's when you're currently in the middle of it, a double depression where you have the full criteria of major depression currently met. But in the past, there have been at least 2 years, within that 2 years, 8 weeks that there was sub-threshold. So the symptoms didn't fully go away, hence why it's still a persistent depressive disorder. But you dipped under the 5 symptoms needed for the major depressive disorder. And you can also have with intermittent major depressive episodes without current episodes. So that's when you have the full criteria for a major depressive episode that are not currently met, but there was at least one or more major depressive episodes that were met in the past. So the third and fourth bullet point, you're trying to tell the person, I know that this is a long-term, low-grade unipolar mood condition, but either they're currently meeting the criteria for a full depressive episode or not. And that information is useful because it shapes the course of treatment. So that, in a nutshell, is persistent depressive disorder. So if I were to summarize, 2 years without a gap of 2 months with a minimum of 2 symptoms, 2, 2, 2. The only exception are with children. Children, it is 1 year instead of 2 years. You can have a low-grade chronic condition, or you can have double depression. Those are the highlights of today's video. So if you appreciate what I have to offer, if you learn something from the content, hit the like button, subscribe, click the notifications tab. That's what allows me to share this video with a larger audience, because YouTube checks the algorithm for such things. Take care, everybody. Until next time.